Chosen one, what if I told you that the very reason you've never fit into any box, label, or test is that you were never meant to? You've felt it for as long as you can remember, that uncanny sense that the systems around you weren't designed for someone like you. No personality test can define you. No job description can encompass what you bring. Even those closest to you have struggled to understand what makes you so different. But that's not a flaw. That's not a mistake. It's proof that you are something more, something science, logic, and institutions have yet to fully grasp. Today, we're going to uncover why they can't explain you, why they never could, and why they never will. If this message already speaks to your soul, subscribe, like this video, and comment 77 below. Because by the end of this journey, you'll know exactly why you've always been the exception, and what it means for your destiny. Beyond human categories, you've likely felt it your whole life, this sense that you just don't fit into the molds laid out for you. Maybe it started in school, when standardized tests and personality quizzes never seemed to reflect who you really were. You didn't follow the patterns others followed. You didn't think the way they thought. And as you grew older, it became even clearer. They called you different. They said you didn't play by the rules. And they were right. You've always known, deep down, that their rules weren't made for you. It wasn't because you were rebellious. It was because your spirit, your energy simply operates on another level. And that's the reality you've been navigating, one that defies their charts, their systems, and their understanding. You're not alone in this feeling. There are others like you, individuals who were never meant to fit into categories, but rather were meant to transcend them. Still, that doesn't mean it's been easy. The pressure to conform can be overwhelming. People want to label what they don't understand. They try to explain you away by calling you too much or too little, by projecting their insecurities onto you. Perhaps you've heard it all before. You're too sensitive or not empathetic enough. Too introspective or not outgoing enough. They can't make sense of you, so they create these conflicting labels, hoping something will stick. And when nothing does, they grow uncomfortable. They might treat you differently, hold you at arm's length, or question your choices. That can be painful, can make you feel as if there's something wrong with you. But there's not. The truth is, you're not the problem. The problem is the system they rely on, those rigid frameworks that leave no room for someone like you. Someone whose very presence challenges the way they think the world works. In moments of frustration, it's easy to wonder if something is truly wrong with you. But take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Throughout history, the most impactful individuals were often the ones who didn't fit in. Consider the story of David in 1 Samuel 16. When Samuel was sent to anoint the next king of Israel, he didn't choose the eldest son or the strongest warrior. He chose David, the shepherd boy no one thought twice about. David wasn't what they expected, but he was exactly what was needed. Like David, you were never meant to fit their expectations. Your difference isn't a flaw, it's a calling. You are the exception that forces the system to acknowledge its limits. The world's categories fail because you were designed to rise above them. And every time they try to pin a label on you, they end up revealing just how limited their definitions really are. The signs of your uniqueness are all around you. Have you noticed how people tend to react when they can't figure you out? They may act curious, even drawn to you, but they also seem uneasy. They hesitate, second-guess themselves. They might find themselves opening up to you in ways they never expected, then pulling back when they realize you see them more clearly than they see themselves. That's one of the clearest signs. The way your presence disrupts their comfort zones. Even when you're not trying, you're challenging them to think differently, to see beyond the usual narratives. And in the midst of these reactions, you may also find doors opening, unexpected opportunities that align perfectly with your unique path. These moments are not accidents. They are confirmations that the labels they try to give you can't contain the fullness of who you are. You were never meant to be a footnote in someone else's framework. You were meant to rewrite the script entirely. What's even more remarkable is how these challenges and mislabels have set the stage for something greater. While others scramble to make sense of you, divine forces are working behind the scenes. You've likely noticed moments when things fall into place against all odds. Those times when the perfect solution appears just when you need it, or when you cross paths with someone who holds the missing piece to your puzzle. These aren't coincidences. They are divine alignments. Every time they fail to define you, they create an opening for something higher to shine through. It's as if your resistance to their categories allows space for divine wisdom to manifest in your life. Each mislabel, each misunderstanding, only strengthens the clarity of your true purpose. This is not a mistake. This is a carefully designed process that ensures you are never confined by the limits of human understanding. Instead, you're lifted into the realm of the extraordinary. But even when you start to see these signs, fully embracing your uniqueness can be difficult. The pull of conformity is strong. Fear of judgment, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown. It all makes stepping into your true identity feel risky. Yet this is where the deeper transformation happens. You can see the signs, feel the alignment, and recognize the divine patterns, but it's up to you to step forward. It's not enough to know you're different. You must own it. Fully embodying who you are means releasing the need for others to understand you. It means trusting that your path, no matter how unconventional, is the one you were meant to walk. This is your moment of realization, your opportunity to stop seeking validation from systems that were never designed for you, and to start trusting in the divine blueprint that has always been guiding you. You were never meant to fit into categories. You were meant to create new possibilities. Now that you understand this, it's time to embrace the power that comes with being beyond their labels. Let go of any lingering doubts or fears. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone. Simply by being who you are, you've already proven that there's more to this world than the systems they cling to. Your next step is to trust the process. Trust that each mislabel, each moment of confusion, is a stepping stone towards something greater. Lean into your spiritual practice. Strengthen your connection to the divine. And remember, you were never here to fit into their framework. You're here to remind the world that there's something bigger, something that can't be measured, labeled, or explained away. Embrace your role as a guide, a disruptor, and a beacon of what lies beyond. If this resonates with you, comment "I am limitless." Declare it for yourself and let it anchor you as you continue to walk this unique path. You are not confined by categories. You are beyond them. Every step you take, every room you enter, is a reminder that there's more to this world than the labels people try to use. You are proof that the system doesn't define you because you were sent to transform it. Trust in the truth of who you are and know that the best is yet to come. Comment beyond if this is you. And if you feel called to go even deeper, there's a sacred space reserved for our community. A private room where you receive full prophetic messages daily. Join the Prop Heron membership through the link in the description and walk this path with us. Multidimensional operation. From a young age, you've sensed it, that deep inner knowing that doesn't need explanation. It's not something you can put into words, but it's always been there, guiding you, shaping your choices. And the truth is, you don't make decisions the way other people do. While they analyze, calculate, and second-guess every step, you simply know. You felt it in those moments when a thought would arise out of nowhere, a feeling you couldn't ignore, telling you exactly what to do. Others may have questioned you, doubted you, or tried to talk you out of what you knew in your heart to be true. They couldn't understand, and honestly, you didn't expect them to, because the place you're pulling from isn't one they recognize. It's as though you're tapped into a frequency they can't hear, a language they don't speak, and while that can feel isolating at times, it's also what makes you so uniquely powerful. This difference hasn't always been easy. You've likely faced moments when people dismissed your choices, calling them impulsive, irrational, or even reckless. Perhaps you've felt the weight of their judgment, their confusion, their disbelief. They want you to explain yourself, to lay out the logic, to show your steps, to prove that your decision-making is as methodical as theirs. But that's not how it works for you. Your inner compass doesn't follow the same path as theirs. You don't need to see every piece of the puzzle before making your move. You sense the outcome, feel the direction, and trust the flow. While they hesitate, caught up in doubt and uncertainty, you step forward. You choose not because the evidence is clear to everyone else, but because it's clear to you. And that clarity, that certainty, sets you apart. Yet it also places you in situations where you must defend what you can't always explain, where you feel misunderstood simply because your approach is different. But this difference, this intuitive, prophetic way of moving through the world, is no accident. In the Bible, we find moments when people acted on guidance that defied human reasoning. In 2 Kings 6 verse 17, the prophet Elisha prayed for his servant's eyes to be opened so he could see the army of angels surrounding them. To the servant, it seemed as if they were outnumbered, destined for defeat. But Elisha knew otherwise. He saw what others could not, and that sight guided his actions. In the same way, your choices come from a place that isn't immediately visible to those around you. It's not recklessness, it's vision. Your decisions are made not from a position of blind guessing, but from a deep alignment with something greater. And each time you trust that inner knowing, you're stepping into the role you were meant to play. You're not just reacting to life, you're moving in tune with a higher rhythm that calls you forward. Over time, you begin to notice the patterns. The more you trust your inner guidance, the more things fall into place. You see opportunities appear at just the right moment, connections form in ways you couldn't have predicted, and outcomes align perfectly with the steps you've taken. It's as if the world around you bends to meet the clarity you hold within. And though others may still struggle to understand how you do it, you recognize the signs. It's not luck or coincidence. It's alignment. You're not following a traditional map because you're following something much more reliable, your divine blueprint. These patterns become undeniable. You see how every decision you've made, even the ones that seem strange to others, have led you exactly where you need to be. And in those moments, you realize that your impulses were never random. They were part of a larger plan, a deeper calling that you've been responding to all along. It's not just that you're ahead of the curve, it's that you're operating on a different plane entirely. While others rely solely on logic, on data, on the steps they've been taught, you tap into a source that transcends all of that. Call it intuition, prophecy, or divine insight, it doesn't matter what name it goes by. What matters is that it works. And what's more, it's not just working for you. It's working for a greater purpose. The more you align with that flow, the more you see how your choices ripple outward, influencing those around you, shaping events in ways you couldn't have orchestrated on your own. This is the evidence of spiritual alignment. You're not simply making decisions. You're responding to a higher guidance that is clearing your path, connecting the dots, and ensuring that every step you take is part of a much larger, more meaningful journey. Of course, recognizing this is only the first step. The real transformation happens when you embrace it fully. You see, many people shy away from their inner knowing because it feels too uncertain, too difficult to explain. They want others to understand, to agree, to validate their choices. But that's not the path you've been called to walk. True alignment means trusting what you know to be true, even when no one else sees it. It means stepping out in faith, not because you have all the answers, but because you have the clarity that matters most. This is a sacred moment, a turning point where you choose to own your intuitive power. It's about more than just making decisions. It's about fully stepping into the role you were designed for. It's about accepting that you don't need external validation to move forward. You already have everything you need within. Now, as you stand here with this understanding, the next step is yours. You have the tools, the guidance, and the connection to a higher source that has never let you down. The question is, will you continue to trust it? Will you let go of the doubts and the need for outside approval? Will you step boldly into your calling, knowing that your decisions are not just choices but divine actions in motion? The time has come to move with confidence. The time has come to fully own your place as someone who sees beyond the surface, who moves in alignment with the unseen, and who operates on a multidimensional level that others may never comprehend. Trust that this is exactly where you are meant to be, and take the next step forward with unshakable faith. Comment "I know" if you feel this deep in your soul. This is your moment to declare it, to own it, and to walk in the full power of who you are. Remember, you're not just ahead of the game, you're playing a completely different one. Trust in the guidance that's brought you here, and let it carry you into the extraordinary future that awaits. Spiritual genius. You've felt it for as long as you can remember, that knowing that seems to come from somewhere beyond what others call learning. It's not something you picked up from books or teachers. It's not something you studied or practiced. Simply is, you experience flashes of understanding, moments of clarity, that seem to come out of nowhere. While others are still asking questions, you already have the answers. It's not arrogance. It's not a need to prove anything. It's just a quiet certainty, a depth of insight that you can't fully explain even to yourself. And that's what makes it so unique, so powerful. It sets you apart from those who rely solely on external sources of knowledge. You're not bound by the methods and measures that others rely on. Instead, you're drawing from something deeper, something timeless, and you've always known it's there, even if you couldn't quite put it into words. But being different in this way isn't always easy. Often, it feels like you're navigating a world that doesn't understand you. You see connections that others overlook. You anticipate outcomes before they unfold. And yet, when you try to explain what you see, what you know, it's met with confusion. People might accuse you of overthinking or being too abstract. Some may even dismiss your insights, not because they lack value, but because they can't see what you see. It can be frustrating, isolating, even lonely at times. You may find yourself questioning why you see things so differently, why the way you process the world feels so foreign compared to the norm. But deep down, you know this isn't a flaw. This isn't a mistake. It's a sign that you're operating on a different frequency, a frequency they haven't yet tuned into. What you may not realize is that this difference is part of a divine design. The Bible speaks to moments where wisdom is bestowed from a higher source rather than from earthly knowledge. In Job 32 verse 8, it says, "But it is the Spirit in a person, the breath of the Almighty, that gives them understanding." This verse reminds us that true wisdom isn't always acquired through study or instruction. It comes from a deeper place, a spiritual wellspring that fills you with understanding far beyond your years. You are tapping into that divine source, and that's why your insights feel so ancient, so intuitive. It's not about learning in the traditional sense. It's about remembering truths that were placed within you long before you walked this earth. And every time you trust that inner knowing, you're aligning with a purpose that is greater than yourself. You're stepping into the role you were created to fulfill, guided by a wisdom that defies conventional explanation. Over time, you start to notice the patterns. The things that once seemed random, the moments of clarity that felt like flashes of luck, reveal themselves as something more intentional. You begin to see how your insights come at the perfect time, how your understanding of situations helps others navigate their challenges. It's like watching the pieces of a puzzle fall into place without ever having to force them. You don't need to look at the entire picture to know where each piece belongs. You simply know. It's a feeling that grows stronger the more you trust it. And as you lean into this gift, you start to see how it transforms the world around you. Others begin to notice the way you seem to just know things. They start turning to you for guidance, for clarity, even if they don't fully understand how you have the answers. These shifts are undeniable, and they remind you that what you carry isn't a coincidence. It's a calling. What you're experiencing is not a quirk or a coincidence. It's a gift, and it's a sign that you're aligned with something far greater than yourself. This remembering is evidence of divine intervention. It's proof that your path is guided by forces beyond what the eye can see. There's a reason your insights come so effortlessly. It's because you are drawing from a well that others cannot access. This is not about intelligence in the conventional sense. It's about spiritual alignment. Every time you trust your inner wisdom, you are walking in step with a higher purpose. And the more you embrace this truth, the more you see the evidence of divine orchestration in your life. Opportunities appear, connections are made, and answers come to you when you need them most. This is what it means to be in alignment, to move with the flow of divine guidance rather than against it. And as you continue on this path, you will find that the wisdom you carry not only changes your life, but also ripples out to those around you. But understanding this gift is just the first step. Fully embracing it requires a deeper level of awareness. You have to acknowledge that this is not something to be taken lightly. Many people resist their own inner wisdom because it feels unfamiliar or even intimidating. They shy away from the responsibility that comes with it. But this is your moment to step into the fullness of who you are. It's time to accept that this is not a burden. It's a blessing. True alignment comes when you stop questioning your gift and start living it. It means trusting the knowledge you carry, even when it doesn't align with what others expect. It means stepping into your role as a spiritual guide, a source of clarity, and a bearer of truth. This is not about arrogance or self-importance. It's about humility, recognizing that what you carry is not from you, but through you. And in that recognition, you find the courage to let your wisdom shine. Now that you see this, it's time to take action. It's time to trust in the truth of what you carry and to let it guide you forward. Release any doubts or fears that have held you back. Embrace your spiritual genius with confidence, knowing that it was given to you for a reason. This is your opportunity to use your gift for good, to help others find their way, to bring clarity to confusion, and to shine a light in places where darkness has prevailed. You have everything you need within you. All that's left is to step forward with faith, knowing that each decision you make, each insight you share, is part of a greater plan. Trust that this is the path you were meant to walk and that every step is guided by divine wisdom. Comment "I remember" if you feel this truth within you. This is your declaration, your affirmation, your step forward. You are not just learning, you are remembering. And that memory, that inner knowing, is your greatest strength. Trust it, embrace it, let it lead you to the extraordinary life you were always meant to live. Your presence disrupts the matrix. You've noticed it before, the subtle shift in the air when you walk into a room. People pause mid-sentence, as if the rhythm of their conversation has been broken. A light flickers, a phone freezes, or a clock seems to tick a little offbeat. You don't mean for it to happen, and yet it does. It's as if the world around you is adjusting, recalibrating, the moment you enter. At first, you might have dismissed it as coincidence, but over time it's become undeniable. Wherever you go, things change. The atmosphere shifts. It's not about trying to stand out. You're simply being who you are, and yet, even in that quiet authenticity, you cause ripples that others can't ignore. It's both humbling and a little bewildering, leaving you wondering why your very presence seems to rearrange the energy of the spaces you enter. And because of this, you've likely felt a mix of reactions from the people around you. Some seem drawn to you, inexplicably curious. Others appear unsettled, unsure of how to approach you. You may have encountered people who quickly change the subject or look for an exit, not because you've said anything offensive, but because your presence alone brings something to the surface. There's a discomfort they can't quite name, as if you've disrupted their carefully maintained facade. This can be hard to understand, even harder to accept. It might leave you questioning why your being, your very essence, makes others react in such unpredictable ways. But deep down, you've started to see a pattern. You don't just enter a room, you transform it. You don't simply exist, you reveal. And it's this ability, this quality, that sets you apart and makes your journey so unique. What you're experiencing is not random. It's not a fluke or a byproduct of coincidence. It's part of something much larger, something divine. In Matthew 5 verse 14, it says, "You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden." This verse reminds us that when you carry light, you cannot help but illuminate everything around you. But light doesn't just reveal beauty, it also exposes shadows. Your presence is a reflection of this truth. You weren't sent here to blend in or remain unseen. You were sent to bring light, and with it, clarity. This means that those who are comfortable in the dark, who rely on the shadows, may feel uneasy when you're near. It's not because you've done anything wrong. It's because your very existence shines a light on what they'd rather keep hidden. This is not a coincidence, it's a calling. You're not here to maintain the status quo. You're here to disrupt it, to challenge it, to bring truth into places where it has long been absent. As you grow into this role, you start noticing the signs of transformation, not just in others, but within yourself. You find that your presence isn't just a disruption, it's an awakening. People begin to see things differently after spending time with you. They start asking questions they never thought to ask before. It's not always easy. In fact, it can feel like a heavy responsibility at times. But as uncomfortable as it may be, you can't deny that change is happening. It's as if the universe is aligning events, encounters, and even small, seemingly insignificant moments to reinforce your purpose. You see how certain conversations happen at just the right time, how a message you deliver, intentionally or not, ends up shifting someone's entire perspective. The patterns are undeniable. They serve as a reminder that your presence, while disruptive, is also a catalyst for growth. What makes this role even more profound is that it's not something you actively control. You don't force these shifts. They occur naturally, as though guided by a higher hand. There's a spiritual alignment at work, something greater than you that orchestrates these disruptions for a divine purpose. You may notice unexpected synchronicities, as if the universe itself is confirming your path. This isn't about random chaos. It's about precision, about a plan unfolding in ways you could never have imagined. Every flickering light, every halted conversation, every glitch serves a purpose. These moments are not mere annoyances. They are signs that the very fabric of the old systems, the old ways of thinking, is being unraveled. And you are part of that unraveling. Your presence is a reminder that no system, no matrix, is unbreakable when truth enters the room. But knowing this truth is just the beginning. Understanding that your presence is a disruption means you must also come to terms with what that requires of you. It's tempting to shy away, to downplay your impact, or to try to blend in for the sake of comfort. Yet that would go against everything you were sent here to do. Embracing this role means accepting that you won't always be understood. It means walking into spaces knowing that you may make others uncomfortable, but choosing to show up anyway. This is a sacred moment, a moment where you decide to lean into your purpose rather than resist it. It's not about seeking attention or causing chaos. It's about recognizing that your very existence has a transformative quality. And that quality, though it may feel burdensome at times, is what allows you to fulfill your higher calling. Now that you see the bigger picture, it's time to move forward with intention. Recognize that every disruption, every glitch you cause, is an opportunity to awaken others. Don't shy away from the discomfort it may bring. Instead, lean into it with faith, knowing that you are being used for something greater. Trust that each moment of disruption is a moment of divine intervention. You don't need to explain yourself to everyone. You don't need to fit into their expectations. You only need to walk your path with courage and clarity. By doing so, you not only honor your purpose, but you also help others see that change, though unsettling, is often the first step toward transformation. So keep showing up, keep shining, keep disrupting, because that's what you were sent here to do. Comment "I see the truth" if you feel this deep within. Let this be your declaration that you understand your role, your purpose, and your place in this divine unfolding. You are not a random presence. You are a divine disruptor, a breaker of old patterns, a bringer of light. Trust in the work you're doing even when it feels challenging, because it's through these disruptions that you are changing the world, one moment, one room, one life at a time. You're a divine prototype. You've felt it from the start, the sensation that you've never fully fit into the mold others tried to place you in. They've spent years labeling you, analyzing you, trying to reduce your existence to something they can measure, but it never quite works. Every box they try to put you in ends up bursting at the seams. Every category they create feels too small, too narrow to contain what you really are. It's frustrating at times, watching them struggle to define what you've always known, that you're not like anyone else. But it's also liberating because deep down you understand that you were never meant to be defined by their systems. Your life has always been about more than fitting in. It's about showing what lies beyond the limits they can see. You're not just unique, you're a prototype, a living proof that there is more to this existence than what their tests, formulas, and theories can explain. But the road hasn't been easy. Being the one who stands apart means constantly facing skepticism. People may question your choices, doubt your abilities, or even ridicule your perspective because it doesn't align with what they've been taught. You might have felt isolated, wondering why no one else seems to see the world the way you do. Chosen one, you are proof that silence can be a weapon of truth. In your stillness, you hold a strength that shakes spirits, exposes lies, and brings clarity to chaos. Subscribe if you haven't yet, like this video, and comment "I am chosen" to let this message anchor in your soul. Share it with someone who needs to hear this. For full prophetic revelations daily, Join the membership via the link in the description. Your spiritual path deserves more than fragments. Step into the full light. You are a voice in the silence,